Australia has used its voice at the ballot box to overwhelmingly reject constitutional change. Indigenous Yes campaigners say they will grieve the outcome in silence as the opposition calls on the Prime Minister to heal the nation.
As the ballots were counted, it was quickly clear which way the voice vote would go.
Because this moment of disagreement does not define us, and it will not divide us.
Now is to ensure we do heal, because there is a lot of hurt, and we come together.
The Indigenous Voice emphatically rejected at the referendum by a majority of voters in every state and territory except the ACT.
Well, obviously, it's a Canberra bubble. ACT was the only one that voted yes.
Yeah, very upset.
More divided?
I believe so. Yeah, it feels that way.
The yes vote would bring different other consequences.
You know, the people of Australia have voted, and I think it was the appropriate outcome, actually.
Indigenous leaders who champion the voice say their voices will fall silent for now. They've called for a week of mourning and for Indigenous flags to fly at half-mast. The Yes campaign even putting the onus on their opponents to heal and harmonise.
It's not enough to say that you were against division. You now have a solemn responsibility to back up those words.
The Prime Minister has promised to chart a new way forward, but it won't include a second attempt at symbolic recognition.
Well, we're not moving down the path of another referendum. We've been making that clear for some time.
Instead, Labor is promising to address Indigenous disadvantage.
I don't think there was in any sense last night a vote against reconciliation or a vote against a commitment to close that yawning gap.
The opposition is emboldened by the outcome and may walk away from a promise to hold a second vote solely for constitutional recognition. And the Liberals could possibly also back down from backing regional voices.
We need to let the dust settle. It has been an incredibly bruising last 12 months.
This referendum kills off the idea of a constitutionally enshrined Indigenous advisory body for at least a generation. But here in South Australia, the Premier is not backing away from his already legislated state-based voice. Despite SA recording a no vote above 64%, Peter Malinauskas is undeterred and moving forward with elections next March for the SA voice.
It'll demonstrate that a non-binding advisory committee can occasionally make representations to the Parliament on various matters, and then it'll be up to the Parliament to determine whether or not they accept or reject that advice. It's not particularly controversial.
Federal Parliament will face a new challenge when it returns on Monday, not just closing the gap, but healing the national divide. Trudy McIntosh, Sky News, Adelaide.